Good morning, class, and today I'm going to talk about social media overload. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the hospital that I work at asked us to mark our own station. As a joke, I provided my Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and and Twitter handle, and it looked like this. Isn't that crazy? And and I have a question. Why do I have 5 accounts? And there's a study that stated, considering that exposure to too much information makes people unmotivated to process the information. And I will talk about why social media negatively affects academics' performance, discourages news seeking, while invalidating information and how it invades privacy. Social media affects academic performance as well because it takes away focus from studying. A researcher stated that high use of social media itself may become problematic when the users feel overloaded by it. We conceptualize social media overload using two different dimensions: information overload and communications overload. If a student has information overload, the info on what they're studying might not be absorbed and overwhelm the student. Like me, I was in Instagram for hours before I did this work, and I was actually on TikTok too. So that's why this assignment is a little late. And I'm a prime example of why social media affects academics. Second part I want to talk about is the news. It's already hard to watch the news, and social media makes it a little murky. Imagine a conversation with a friend. It's like, guess what I saw on Facebook, and you reply, "Oh, I can't believe that politician said that." That conversation is one note, and there's no positive or even a negative discourse. It's just an opinion that's fed to us. Researchers explain that study contributes to the literature of news overload in the context of social media by illuminating the mechanisms by which perceived news overload results in social filtering or news avoidance. Through through the mediating of news efficiency. It just states that we just look at social media and we take it as it is, and we don't form our own opinions, and we don't do the research. And another thing that upsets me at times is like it also affects our medical community. Medical business community made research regarding social media overload. So basically, don't want to get your information about your medical conditions in social media. Statements such as, I saw it on Twitter, that this condition, blah, 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 and people usually just rely on that. That's not a good idea. There's a research in India that said factors that contribute to this problem include lapses in communication between researchers and practitioners. We already have that problem, and if we get that information through social media, it's just gonna mark up the information that we need to learn. We have to verify everything that comes through social media, and it's important in our health. As I said, with the academics and with the news. Please, we need to seek proper information. I recorded that part of the speech because it was in a place that dear to me, and I wanted to tell you like how social media affects my workplace, which is the hospital, and that was on my 30-minute break. So what I'm trying to say is that social media overload is can be problematic because it affects our academics, news, and also murks up some information within the medical community. Something that's important with social media is that if you have a small business, you don't need to pay $5,000 for an advertising company. You can just run your TikTok, run your Facebook, run your Instagram, and you have free advertisement. You don't pay for anything with that. And if you have good business, they will even sponsor your business. And there are times too that it invades our privacy where they know what you need to shop. You just browse, and for some reason it shows up in Instagram, it shows up in Facebook, it shows in random places, and sends you a link in an Amazon marketplace. What I'm trying to say is that we need to control the information, and we need to know how to use this information to our advantage. Not take social media verbatim, but social media as something that can work for us versus making us work for the information that we solely crave for, either entertainment or whatever it is, or whatever realism that it gives to us. But at the end of this day, as anything, too much of something is a bad thing. We need to control our social media so we don't overload, and we can make better decisions for our own selves. Thank you.